Hello, Lizzie here, and today I'm going to show you the remake version of the one-piece cushion. We made this one earlier and you can see that it's a really simple make, but I've got a few extra tips for you. Now, all the dimensions will be down below in the description box. There's a little grey triangle here to the right of your screen. Just drop that down, you'll get all the dimensions. Absolutely perfect. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to do a thumbs up, don't forget to hit that bell, and then you'll get to see all my videos. So this is the fabric I've chosen. I love it. There's lots of lovely dogs on there. Okay, so like I say, all the instructions are down below. The first thing I've done is taken my length of fabric, or my width as it happens. Now, if you get 1/2 meter or 1/2 yard of fabric, it's the perfect length to make this cushion, which is for an 18-inch cushion pad. So all I've done is taken my fabric and I've folded in 11.5 inches one side and 11.5 inches the other side, and that overhangs beautifully. And all I'm going to do now is just neaten these edges off by folding over 1/4 inch, folding over again and top stitching, and that's on both of these short raw edges. So that's what I'm going to do now. Now you can measure this if you want. I'm afraid I don't. I just turn and then turn again. It's not desperately crucial that it's exactly that 1/2 inch turn in, because you've got a good turn in anyway. So just zoom up. Now you go as fast or as slow as you want, and I have to say this is perfect for beginners, because you can make this as a gift in such a small amount of time. Now I've got my stitch length on 3, which is great for top stitching. I've got a cream thread, but you might want to use a matching thread, maybe blue on this particular cushion. So just down the other side. I wouldn't bother doing a back stitch or a locking stitch, because those seams are going to be held in place in the actual body of the cushion. So just do this other short seam. So you don't need any zips, you don't need any buttons, you don't need any poppers. There is absolutely nothing to put you off making this cushion. So what we could do with it is a good press of this. Oh, my biggest scissors in the world here. Just take my threads off, just to keep it fairly neat. And all threads get swept up by me later, in case you're worrying about the threads. Now, like I said, you'll have already pressed your crease in there, so that'll go that way, and that helps you get a visual of what this is going to look like. But actually we're going to turn it the other way now, and of course you could repress this if you want, but I'm just going to lay this out, follow my crease lines. It's kind of, it goes in on itself like a valley crease almost, but you'll still get the idea of how it should work. Now I'm just going to put a pin in there just to hold, and do the same the other side. And like I say, if you wanted to, you can press this again. So again, a pin in there. So now what I'm going to do is bring this top edge all the way over, and again you'll find that the creases go the opposite way, but that's okay. Like I say, you can repress these if you want, but actually it's really useful once we've stitched these edges together to have those creases on the outside. So quickly pin those. You can use quilting clips if you prefer. So I've got all my pins in place. Let's just put a couple more here. So what I've done is I've overlapped those two back pieces to make that envelope flap to put your cushion pad in. So now I'm going to stitch down these two sides here, this one and this one. Okay, again about 1/4 inch. I'm not going to zigzag to neaten, but you may want to do that. But there is one thing I am going to do, which I'm going to explain to you once I get to that point. And again, this is not difficult for a beginner. It's just kind of remembering. Now I've done a back stitch. Don't go over your pins. So before I do that next stage, have a look at this. You can find access to my Gold Club from my website. Sign up and you can connect to my Facebook Live events and join in all the fun my Gold Club members have on a weekly basis. And of course you get free patterns. See my Gold Club video on YouTube for more information. So once you're getting to the point where those pieces overlap, I want you to do a back stitch. I want you to go 2 or 3 times over that seam. And the reason for that, I'll just do it again, I can feel where I'm coming to that other seam. And the reason for that is when we put the cushion pad in, we open up that envelope back, and sometimes it puts a little bit of pressure on that seam, and if anything's going to split, that will. And of course, if you've got an overlocker or a serger, get it out of the box because this is ideal. And I mean, the great thing is, so just going over that seam, the great thing is with an overlock or a serger, it stitches it and cuts it at the same time. Again, that seam there, so backwards, forwards, just to give it that extra strength. I think if you made this for a little one or even a big one, they're gonna really cuddle this because it's such a fabulous cushion. Right, okay, so we're done with the actual cushion itself. Just a case of turning through. Now you might want to trim these corners off here. I probably wouldn't, but again you might want to zigzag. It helps with the strength of the cushion, but also it really does neaten it off inside. But if you make one and see how you feel about it, and if you want to make more, then you can add to it, can't you? And if this was plain fabric, you could put an applique on there, you could put a flower on the front, you could do some fancy embroidery stitches, entirely up to you. So I'm just poking out the corners with my finger. Ideally you're going to use some sort of pokey tool. I could perhaps get my scissors in there in a minute. Now to make this cushion look like it's lots of piecing and it's so much more complicated than I've actually made it, do a little top stitch on these folded edges. So do you remember where we pressed it before and we've got that lovely folded edge? Run it under the machine and top stitch it. Again, I've still got my stitch on 3. Do a little back stitch if you want, just to neaten those threads. And by doing this top stitch, it'll look like you've pieced the cushion. And again, my corners could be better, but I'm doing this quickly for you. It also gives it extra strength. It gives it a better shape. Great stuff. Now, of course, the other thing you can do is that you could top stitch along these edges as well. So we've just gone down the sides, but obviously you could do the top as well, go all the way around. But I find this perfectly acceptable. So we'll just trim some of these ends off. And we're done, actually. So how quick was that? Time me. I think, what was it, 10 minutes? I've got a cushion pad here. Now, this fabric was probably about £5, that's about $6.50. The cushion pad was about £1.50, that's probably about $2. I'm sure you can get them cheaper than me. And so for, I don't know, $7 or $8, £7 or £8, you've made somebody the most amazing gift. I just love this fabric. Look at that, look at that. I love it. Now, how fun is this? So you can have this on your sofa, but actually it would make a terrific gift for a little one. You could put an extra piece in here and make it into a book cushion, so you can pop a book in there, couldn't you? So what do you reckon? One piece cushion.